I've looked over the video that I took of these cows, and now I think I'm ready to decide on a sketch. I'm taking a look at a few design formats. This is certainly not all of them, but to try to decide what type of design format I want to use for this cow picture. I could use the vertical, but not necessarily. A lot of times people use the S-curve if they have a river or a road in it. Containment has a real dark space at the top, which stops your eye from going out of the picture and bounces it back in. But the one that fits my trees and cows and cow pasture best is the wedge design. I did just 3 sketches quickly, and I liked the part of the pasture where there was a river in the middle and you could see the foreground and the background and then trees way in the distance. I liked that one, but I also liked the barn in the background and maybe putting a cow close up looking up at us. So I think that's the one that I'm going to choose. I also liked all of the cows that came up to look at me real close, but I didn't think that that was the one that I wanted to use. So I have a sketch right now, and you can see the different wedge lines in the background of the landscape, and I've sketched in that barn and some of the fence and the bull in the background with a cow looking out at us. I may add some more trees and things to it. We'll see. This painting will be in color. I also wanted to quickly show you the color wheel and intensity chart. Intensity is the brightness and dullness of a color, and you might add red, and then you can see 1 drop of green, which is opposite on the color wheel, to dull that red down. In the middle, when you add both of them, you would get a brownish color. And then on the other side of the chart, adding 1 drop of red, 2 drops of red, and so on to the green to change the green and dull it. And then always try to have value in your picture, all the way from white to dark. I have started the painting. I'm adding 1 color of grass to one of the wedges, and now I'm going back and adding some shadow areas with a little bit of darker color. I've painted in the bottom wedge, and now I've started painting in the post. I'm dabbing them while they're still wet with a paper towel so that it will add texture and lighten the color. I'm also starting the post inside the barn. I'm painting in some rust on this tin. I decided to add a golden color to this back wedge, one of the back ones, because something might be growing there in that field that is this color. Now I'm working on adding some other texture lines to the top of that field, and I have also colored in a dull green on the back wedge that you cannot see. Painting in an area that you can see through, but making it darker. I've mixed a black with Windsor blue, Windsor red, and New Gamboge, and I'm painting in the dark shadows inside the barn. As I put in the darkness, the gray pieces of wood in the barn show up more, and that's a type of negative painting. I'm painting on the roof on the other side now, underneath, and on this side, filling it in with dark. This cow is so dark that it's hard to see some of the features, but we are going to proceed. I'm just going to start out. The sun is shining on his back, and this part of his rump is showing some sunlight. And this side of his face. See if I can add a little bit of this yellowy brown to help that sunlight show up. Seems like they have a little bit of a curly top on the top of their head that makes it stand up a little bit. There's a little bit of the sunny part of the sun showing on this side of her face too. I'll put a little bit of red and yellow together there for that. I'm going to add a little blue. May not be able to tell it very much, but on this shadowed side over here, the side away from us anyway, and a little more red on this side. I want to soften this edge just a bit. I'm trying to leave her head a little bit lighter so we can put in some details. And her mouth is under there. want to emphasize these lines just a bit that are showing the wedge design. So maybe darken that one just a bit and come back and smooth it out. It's good to have light and dark lines that are going to your subject matter. To bring your eye into it. Gonna add just a few pieces of grass here and there. Maybe another line or two that can point into that bull and the other cow. Oh, there's another piece that I need to do, plus the wire on the fence. I'm putting some more lines here, pointing down. A little bit darker here for shadows of those trees. All right, I wanted to come back one last time. I did darken this line pointing down to the barn, and as it comes down to the barn, then you can hit this line that comes back toward this cow, and there's a little bit of greenery that comes over to this one, but I wanted to add that. I did make this tree a little bit darker so that the top of the roof would show up more. And okay, I think I am finished. I've looked at it for a while. I hope you enjoyed going on my cow trip with me and taking a look at all of the different cows in the pasture. And we'll work on another one someday.